Last couple subjects. Are you guys ready? One of the biggest money makers in the entire planet right here. Three-way phone calls. All right. Let's talk about these here real quick for a minute. When do you do three-way phone calls?
All the time.
All the time.
I heard it said like this. Anytime you're not getting a yes, three-way phone call.
Yep.
I don't care if it's, I have somebody on my team who doesn't want to come to the event this Wednesday. Three-way phone call. I have somebody I know that says they're not a good reader. They're not going to do personal development. Three-way phone call.
Just excited right now.
I have somebody who doesn't want to come to National Convention. Three-way phone call. I have a prospect who doesn't want to sign up. Three-way phone call. I have, anytime you're not getting the answer you're looking for, three-way phone call. I have somebody on my team who's getting cold feet who wants to back out and quit. Three-way phone call. I have somebody of mine who has a question about products. Three-way phone call. I mean, just.
I'm not connecting with somebody because I'm a man and they're a woman. Three-way phone call. I'm not connecting with somebody because I'm a woman and they're a man. Three-way phone call. Some of you guys are like, oh, they did that to me.
Someone needs to hear a higher income story. They're super red and they're used to making a certain income. They need to hear that story. Three-way phone call. Anytime you're not getting the answer that you're looking for, three-way phone call. That's my go-to with anything. The first thing I'm Terminator on the inside, sizing up. Okay, red, blue, yellow, green, dominant, supportive. What do I need to do here? Okay, what story does this person need to hear? And what's crazy is most of the time I don't even put my support team on three-way phone calls. I use my organization.
Yep.
I don't know, you think you need this big, crazy, grand story. You really don't. Again, the average person can really only see themselves making twice what they're currently making anyways. We know statistically 65% of America makes $39,000 a year or less.
I recruited more people in secret when I was making less money.
For sure. I recruited so many people when I was broke as hell. If you would have met me when I was super broke, I was a maniac. I was so much fun to be around. I was the best networker ever. You guys see just recently on my Facebook, I don't know if you guys saw this. There was a post that I put, and Angie Jenkins, she was the president of my class. She was the president of my high school class. She commented on my picture. You look on this, I don't even know what the picture was. But she commented just recently on my last post. I remember when you were driving this beat up truck and you picked me up for this business event and you were so motivated. And she joined and she quit within a week. But she commented on this picture. She's like, man, I knew that day that you were going to be going somewhere huge. And she commented, I just commented like, oh, Angie, you just made my day. You rock. You know, I can't wait to see you at our high school reunion. Da, da, da. But I was broke as hell. For sure. I had this beat up Ford Ranger. I had like crashed on both sides, and it was my auto detailing truck. And I used to bomb that thing everywhere. I used to have to park it like a half block away and walk into every like in living room presentation because I didn't want any of the prospects to see what I drove there. Yep. So I'm here like talking about opportunity and just driving this car was worth less than like $1,000. I remember picking up an ex-girlfriend so excited about like network marketing and doing a sit-down presentation in the car, in the seats. She's just sitting there like, I'm just jacked out of my head. And she's like, all right, dude, like, here's my credit card. You just shut up and stop. I was just so, like, people were afraid not to join. So I had that crazy look in my eye. You know what I mean? And we were like, dude.
Be like, we're going to the top of the mountain.
I want to freaking, like, listen, dude. Like, I just had this, like, relaxed intensity, and I was so intense. Like, I'm going to freaking kill this. And you're either going to be on board or you're going to miss it. And I'm going to send you a get well soon card. Because when you see how awesome this is, you're probably going to be sick. Right? And I was just a maniac. I mean, and I recruited I had no money, none. And I was recruiting guys that were like super ballers. I recruited a guy that owned 3 private jets that was making well over $300,000 a month residually. And I had like $200 in my account. I had nothing. I was so jacked about a $34.57 override. And I remember the cents. Because it was a recession. And we were... I recruited a dude, Michael Lesnar, he had 3 private jets. I remember doing the presentation in his living room, doing the whole thing. The brokest dude at his first party at his house was making a little over $250,000 a year. The brokest dude, by a lot. The next brokest dude was making $40,000 a month. And I'm in there with my same suit jacket that I wore to my homecoming dance for high school. That was the only suit I owned. With my Ross Dress for Less 3-for-1 shirts, for sure, with multiple ties, multiple colors. Oh yeah, not about where you start, about where you finish. So, I'm rocking this thing out, and I remember doing this presentation, jacked out of my head.
Yes.
And here's the thing, I was nervous as hell because I'm like, oh my God, I'm so broke. These guys are such ballers. Every dude signed up. Every person in that room. So we're like, man, this crazy little kid is probably gonna do it. I don't know. Like, that's it. And also, by the way, just so you know, wealthy people get this way faster than broke people.
Yes.
I'm reading Warren Buffett's biography right now, which is like the best thing ever, the Snowball. But it's so funny because if you ask Warren Buffett, well, you want to make more money? Guess what he says? Yeah. That's how you make $30 million a day last year. Yeah. That's a ridiculous amount of money. You ever think Warren's like, nah, man, I'm good. I'm all set. No, it's our broke friend at Taco Bell that's like, nah, man, I'm good. And I was like, I get it. Like, wealthy people don't think like that. They're always entrepreneurial. Like, hey, what's up? Show me what you got. Show me what you got. Show me what you got. May not say yes, but I want to know what you got. I recruited more when I didn't have I had no watch. I didn't have any flashy stuff. I didn't have a car. I lived at home with my parents. And I had all this stuff.
I did too.
I'm like a maniac. I was a friggin' animal. I remember playing ping pong till 2 o'clock in the morning with Ken Knight. Right? Yeah, some of you guys know. Oh, Ken was like a good friend of mine. He's a little older than I am. And I used to stay up for hours. My original sponsor that recruited me in network marketing, a really good friend of mine, Anthony, we used to stay up all night just talking about what life would be like if we made it.
Yep.
I remember sitting on my bed in my parents' old house and just being like, man, dude, like, what would you drive? If you could drive anything, what would you drive? And we were both just like,
tomorrow, let's go down to the dealership and take pictures with it.
Seriously, like, yeah, we should test drive it. I don't know, like, I didn't have any nice enough clothes to even let me test drive it, really.
Yes.
Like, they would, like, see me and be like, nah, bro, you're not going to test drive this.
Same thing. I did the exact same thing.
For sure. I remember, like, dude, if you could live anywhere, if you could, I remember looking at pictures, like, just, oh, my God, a beach, that's so awesome. I want to go there. I remember one of my biggest goals was to be able to, now, I'm 28, I started network marketing when I was 20, almost 21. Like, what was so important to me back then was, man, someday I'm going to meet a girl. And it's so, like, it would be so great to just have finances taken care of so that I can really do what I want to do. Like, I would love to be able to just say, hey, babe, like, let's go to Hawaii. And, I'll give you guys the advice that my dad gave me. I had the best dad on the planet. It was so freaking awesome. I remember I was 21. I was in network marketing, and you know, the average person that 21-year-olds know are other 21-year-olds, the guys I grew up with. Most of my friends around me were more concerned with Thirsty Thursday and Taco Tuesday and Sunday Fun Day and all the other ridiculous days that are out there. All my friends were really more concerned with that than like where they were going to be in 5 years.
Yep.
And I remember being super frustrated about it. And my dad told me, he's like, Joe, here's the thing about the party and all the stuff that's going on. It never stops. If you go to work for a few years and you go really build yourself something and you want to come back, all those guys that you know will still be going to Taco Tuesday. They'll all still be doing Sunday Fun Day, and you can come back and hang out again if you really want to. But let me tell you where the real party's at. The real party is not Sunday Fun Day hanging out down in PB with your friends. The real Sunday Fun Day is you take your girl to Hawaii for the week. The real fun is you go skiing in Aspen for the week. Go start endless road trip everywhere.
The real fun day is when you pack your bags, take your passport, and go to LAX with no idea where you're going to go and just look at the board and decide which flight you want to take.
He did that.
And I did that last year, one way, and that's how I wound up in Costa Rica. My wife and I went to the airport, and we just looked up at the wall, and I'm like, you want to go to Costa Rica? Well, let's go. Bought a one-way ticket. I called Joe. He's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm going to Costa Rica. He's like, when are you coming back? I have no idea.
I was a bit concerned, then I was like, that's awesome. Go for it. I'll tell you guys, honestly, you don't need the stuff. What you need is it in here.
Yes.
I'm telling you, you need it in here. I remember talking with Jordan. Once it clicked for him, he's like, man, you know, when he had no money. I remember him saying to me, he's like, dude, it's so funny. People don't even ask. They don't even ask about the money. It's like in my music. They hear it in my voice. and they're just signing up. I'm able to lead. For me, I'm telling you, I had so many people. I was mentoring people that made so much money outside of network marketing. I had nothing just because I was 100%, not 99%. I was 100% sold out. I'm going this way, period. That's it. So in transitioning, if you guys notice, most of the time in my exposure process, I'm teeing up my three-way call in my exposure. All the time when I'm getting somebody information, I'm saying, hey, do me a huge favor. While you watch this or while you, whatever, depending on your response, I'd love to put you in touch with one of our market leaders who's helping out with our expansion out there in LA, out there in Louisiana, wherever they're at. I'm teeing up the three-way call before I even do the exposure process so that when I call them back up, I'm like, hey, did you get a chance to see everything we talked about? Here's the money questions I asked. Write these questions down. I give the webinar. The webinar I'm doing tomorrow night at 6:30. Perfect example. I'm going to put some personal prospects on that as well. Let's say I'm my friend Hannah, one of the people. Actually, I want to put Angie back on too. Let's say I put Angie back on. Angie, hey girl. I know it's been forever. I know you want to do your thing. Hey, this new project I'm working on actually is pretty cool. You do me a huge favor. I don't know if it's for you or not, but at 6:30 I'm doing a special kind of a VIP thing for some people that I know. I'd love to have you actually be able to check it out. Here's what I would say. I'd call Angie back. Hey, did you get a chance to jump on that webinar we talked about? Yes. Did you see everything okay? Yes. Second yes. So from everything that you saw so far, what's jumping out at you the most, the products or the business? And the reason why I say, did you get a chance to jump on that webinar we talked about? Yes. Did you see everything okay on it? Yes. I want to get her in that yes mode. From everything you saw so far, what jumped out at you the most? Well, the products, the business, what was getting your attention? Whatever she says, I'm on board. I agree. Now, in my transition, when I was brand new in the industry, here's your biggest advantage when you're brand new. You're new. All your friends, your family, people that you know, in Walmart, they know you as whatever you do, whatever your background is. So you just tell them, hey, listen, I'm new. I'm just getting rocking with this thing. But I work with some of the top people in the entire company. I'm actually partnered up with some guys that are 100%. Now, if I know their color, I'm just going to edify with their color. If I don't know their color, I'm going to kind of do a broad, low-key thing, not like robotic. This person knows 100% of the facts, knows a blast to work with. You know, I don't know if you ever know some of those wealthy people that are really down to earth, easy to talk to, but still doing really well financially. This guy, killing it financially. But he's helping so many people do it, and he knows everything there is to know about it. I'd love to get a chance to just connect the two of you guys and have him kind of share his story with you. Hold on one second. Click. Notice I don't ask, hey, Rick, working with some people, hey, would you want to talk to somebody that's doing really well with the company?
He's not a closer. I know you think I'm putting you on the phone with the closer.
Right.
But that's not what he is. He just wants to talk to you.
So I don't ask. Now think about it like this, right? If I had Donald Trump, and let's say we were talking about real estate, and I had Donald Trump on the phone, do you think I would ask, like, hey, Rick, got this guy, Donald Trump. He's made some money. I don't know if you have time to talk to him or not, but can you talk to him? Hey, I'm totally de-edifying Donald Trump and his time. If I have the ability to get Donald Trump on the phone, here's what I am going to do. Rick, listen, bro, I can't promise anything. I don't even know if this guy's going to answer his phone, as his time's super valuable. But if I can maybe get a couple minutes and actually have him introduce, and just introduce the two of you guys and have him share his story, that'd be ridiculous. Let me see if I can actually get a hold of Donald. Hold on. I don't do the whole like Mr. Trump thing. Some people in network marketing are taught like do the like last name identification. If that's you and it fits in the setting, then use it. If that's a friend of yours that would be appropriate to be like, hey, Mr. Trump, what's going on? Hey, this is my good friend Rick, Mr. Trump. Then it would do that. If it doesn't make sense, I'm going to still edify and be like, this is the guy I was telling you about. That's doing really, really well, killing it. Let me see if I can hit you. Hey, Donald, this is my really good friend Rick. Rick, this is Donald. Right? And it's the same thing in network marketing. Do you know how many people have made $1,000 period without working? Right?
So
I mean,
small.
if you are in that position where you can get a hold of a superstar, a bronze, a royal, I mean, it's massive. If you can go out there and say, hey, listen, this person has already gone out there and hit this position where they're getting a $500 every 4-week drive your dream bonus. They're killing it financially. They're a blast to work with. They're helping so many people. I don't know how much time they're going to have. I know they probably won't have more than a couple minutes, but I'd love to at least get a chance to connect to you guys and have them kind of share his story. Hold on one second. Click. And I don't ask. I'm click, and I connect this person on the phone.
Now, when I was new, I didn't know how to do this because a lot of my friends were in young and entertainment. So I was talking to Joe, and I showed Joe some of the information. I was like, Joe, how cool is all this?
Awesome.
I was asking leading questions, and I didn't know I was when I was new. Because I was so fired up, the only response was, aren't you as excited as I am about this? I was like, listen, you have to meet this dude. This is how I started three-way phone calls. I was like, oh my God, you have to meet these people. There's this dude, there's this dude. He's ridiculous. You have to meet him. Hang on. That's how a three-way phone call started for me.
Yeah.
Dude,
And that's
there's
pretty
this
good,
dude.
honestly. I'll take that.
He's awesome. You have to meet this guy. Oh my God, there's this girl. You have to meet this girl. She's crazy. She's amazing. Oh my God. You have to meet them. Hang on.
It's genuine. Awesome. Even if you're sitting down at Starbucks, not if you're on the phone, but if you're doing a sit down at a Starbucks and you're scared to ask those closing questions, you can say, hey, listen, man, before we finish everything here, I really want to get a chance to introduce you to some of the guys I'm working with that are killing it. Right? The cool thing is we have a massive team of people that all have our back, they're all working together, that are awesome. I'd love to get a chance to just connect you with some people that I'm working with that are killing it, that are a blast, man. Hold on one second. If you ask, it's be like, no, you're doing a great job. You don't need to put me on the phone with anybody. That's why you don't ever ask.
One of the other things I used as a transition is, you know what? You remind me so much of somebody I'm working with. I can't wait to introduce you to him.
That is really good. Now I'll do it with people on my team. Now the 3 stories, right? In the beginning, you're going to use your support team a lot because, number one, you don't have a team and you don't have a story. So you're going to start using your support team. You'll be in situations where you don't need a 3-way call. If a person's ready to get started and they haven't had a 3-way call, sign them up. You're going to do a welcome call with somebody. They need to hear somebody else's story in their support team at some point, right? Very quickly, to make it bigger than just you. But you can sign somebody up if they're ready to get started. The most powerful stories are the ones that have created on your team. Somebody's, hey, listen, I was actually a really good friend of mine. I just actually helped get started in my organization a little bit ago. They got started a couple weeks ago. I've already got a superstar. They made over $400. Let me see if I can just steal a second and have them kind of share their story, how they got started. Right? This guy's brand new. The best stories in the world are for the guy that's brand new. That's like, yeah, man, I signed up in this thing a couple weeks ago. I really have no idea what the hell I'm doing yet. When I just made $400, that's pretty awesome. Anyways, you should do it. Right? The new person's like, oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I'm in. Right? Versus my polished story that's all dramatic. The new guy's just like, hey, man, it's great. Made a couple $100. This thing rocks. Anyways, see you later. Like, big old son. That's it. Like, the new person's story is the bomb.
From there, from 3 ways, here's a couple things. So when I'm following up, the only question that I'm asking somebody when they see the information is, what did you like?
Best.
Best. What did you like best? Now, you can insert, after what did you like best, an alternative question like the products or the
business.
We're just forcing a direction on them. You can say, what did you like best? It's a leading question because it's leading to a positive response. Now, after that is like, great. Whatever they say, perfect. Next step is for me to introduce you to somebody. That's the next step. Here's one of the things that I love saying. If it was local, here's my favorite thing on the planet to get somebody to invite to an event. So let's say I introduce somebody, they see a video, they see a webinar, 5 and 5, whatever it is. They say, listen, there's some things going on here this week. Let me actually find out what's going on. Listen, there's actually some big things going on this week. Let me get in touch with one of the people I'm working with to kind of find out what's going on here this week. Not like let me transition so easy. Because then I got to call someone on my support team, so I call up Joe. Now, here's a couple things. When I'm calling Joe for a three-way phone call, I don't need like the 30-minute story on the background of this dude.
No, I will never answer your phone call if you do that.
Here's what I need to know. I need to know how you know them. If you know their color, all the better.
What have they seen?
What have they seen, and where are we going? Meaning, are you trying to sign them up right now, or are you trying to get them to the next exposure, the next event? If I'm calling up Joe, let's say in this example, I sat down with Brad. Or maybe Brad's a buddy of mine from the military. We know each other. I sent him the link. He watched one of the links. I followed up. I said, hey, Brad, what did you like? He says the money. He says the money. Perfect. Actually, you know what? There's a lot of money being made right now. In fact, there's some things going on this week. There's actually some people I'd love to get a chance to connect you with and introduce you to that are making a great deal of income with Secret. Let you know more about like some of the events that are happening this week. I call up Joe. Ring, ring.
Hello, hello.
Joe, hey, it's Jesse.
What's going on?
Listen, do you have time for a three-way?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. I got my buddy Brad, military background. I think he's very green. He watched the video. He likes the business. And what I want to do is I want to see if he's ready to sign up. I don't think he's going to join today, but at least I want to get him Wednesday night.
Okay.
Perfect.
Boom.
That's it. So now I'm going to connect the call. If I haven't edified Joe properly yet, I'm going to make sure that that edification happens. But I'm not going to do it with him on the line.
Right. It's awkward for me.
It's awkward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click over and say, Brad, oh my God. Listen, I was actually able to reach one of my business partners. His name is Joe Valenzuela. He's on the other line right now. I'm going to connect him in just a quick sec, but before I did, I wanted to make sure you knew who you were talking to. And I'm going to edify Joe. Now, if he's green, I'm going to lean on the green. This guy, I mean, he's a details. He's a numbers guy. He knows his stuff. He's a professional. He's a student. Oh my God, the green people are like, yeah, yes. Maureen is a green. Here's how I know Maureen is a green. She has different colored pens for different things that she takes notes on. What's red for? Your personal thoughts are in red. Normal notes are in blue. And she has a whiteout strippy thing.
That is awesome.
In case she messes up. So,
because God forbid there are scribble lines
God,
in my notebook
can't have things out of
that
order.
are not perfectly detail oriented.
So I'm getting Joe back on the phone. Hang on one quick second. Joe, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Brad, can you hear me? Yeah. Great. Now here's the thing. Introduce.
Yeah.
Please introduce when you connect. There's this weird thing, and I know I did this. Everybody does this. Almost everybody. Please don't ever do this to us again. When they introduce, it's like we're on the phone, and it's like, hey, Joe, you there?
Yeah.
Hey, Brad, you there?
Yep. Uh-huh. Sure am. It's like, so...
Go!
Hey,
you know, right?
Brad! What's up, buddy?
Go
like,
stick him! Stick him! Get him! You know, right? Right?
So bad.
So introduce. Hey, Joe, are you there?
Yes.
Awesome. Brad, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm really excited. Listen, Joe, this is my friend Brad, the gentleman I was telling you about. Brad, this is my friend Joe, my business partner, one of the gentlemen I look up to I was telling you about. Joe, I was hoping you could maybe, share with Brad your story.
Sure.
I asked the expert to share their story.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, I was hoping maybe you could share with Brad your story and let him know about the events that are going on this week.
Sure. Good.
And then I mute my phone and I take notes. You want to know how I learned to overcome every objection in network marketing? Three-way phone calls. Because I put somebody on the phone with somebody who knew how to handle every objection I've ever heard. That's how I learned every objection and how to overcome it, because I literally witnessed it happen in front of my eyes. Actually, well, in front of my ears.
This is so big, right? You mute your phone and you don't unmute your phone.
Never.
This is one of those things where if I have a prospect, if I have a new agent who connects with his prospect and then starts interrupting me on the phone, oh my gosh, I want to reach through the phone and strangle this person, because it's so de-edifying of the expert that you just edified to go put on the phone. You mute and that's it. You let the expert do his job. He will move that prospect to the place that he needs to get to. Awesome. And you're going to take notes on how to be the expert on the three-way call. So let's role play it.
Okay, let's role play it. So in this case, why don't you come up here, Brad? Okay. Everybody, Brad Deddy, top of the leaderboard. The man himself. All right, so in this case, let's say Brad is who Brad was, or is, military background. Let's say we met, we know each other from school or back in the day. Military, maybe we know each other from military. So I'm going to make that connection. So he saw some information, checked it out. Maybe I did a 5 and 5. He stumbled a couple of products. Maybe he was in my barracks. Is that the word?
Yes. We'll do the real story. You saw a video in your barracks, right? And then made a decision to come out to an event.
So you saw a video in your barracks. You saw the video, and now I'm going to connect you with the three-way phone call. So
Perfect.
Ring, ring.
Hello, hello.
Joe?
Yep.
Minute for a three-way?
Yes, sir.
Great. I got my buddy Brad. We're in the military together. He just watched the video. It's pretty analytical. Like the money. And I want to see if he's ready to get started, but more than likely, at least make sure he gets there to Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I edify Joe to my prospect, not with him on the line. It could have done before, it could have done during this conversation, then I make the connection. Once I connect the three-way phone call on my phone, Joe, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Brad, can you hear us? Yes. Great. Brad, this is the gentleman I was telling you about. And, Joe, this is my friend Brad. I was hoping you might be able to share with him your experience with Secret, as well as let him know about the events going on this week.
Sure. Hey, Brad, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Good to get a chance to connect with you over the phone. How do you and Jess know each other?
We're actually in the military together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What branch?
Navy.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How long you been in?
5 years.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
My grandpa actually was an admiral.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got a huge Navy family. That's awesome, brother. Very, very cool. So Jess was telling me you got a chance to see some information, I think, on a video. Is that right?
Yes, watch the video.
Killer. You see everything okay?
I did, yeah.
Nice. Hey, so from everything you've seen so far, what's jumping out at you most? More the products, the business? What's getting your attention?
The business, making extra money.
Nice. What about the business is getting you excited?
Just making, extra money on the side of the military.
Okay.
Being able to get out of debt or something like that.
That's killer, man. Very, very cool. Well, let me kind of share with you my story, kind of how I got here. That's how Jesse and I got connected. But for me, I actually got a chance to see what you saw just a little bit ago, actually a couple years back, and I was working full time, kind of same as you. And I don't know if you've ever been in a place where you've been working full time, but not really making the type of income that's getting you by full time.
Totally.
That's where I was at, and honestly, I needed more money, but I didn't really have time for another job. I was working my tail off already, not really getting ahead. I know this is his story in the military. This is every military dude's story. So I was working my tail off, but I needed more income, but I didn't have time to go get another job. So when I saw this, I was like, man, I could actually work around my own schedule whenever I have time, and I can do it on my own time and make some money. I got started, made $400 my first week on the side, extra few grand that very first month, and it hasn't been that bad since.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, man. Well, let me ask you this, man. From everything you've seen so far, do you see an opportunity for yourself?
Yes.
And I'm kind of gauging. Do you see an opportunity for yourself? Now, if I can feel like he's already got like a pretty heated, he's already pretty hot as a prospect, but do you see an opportunity for yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Let me ask you, how much money would you really need to make a month just starting out to make this worth your time?
A couple hundred.
A couple $100?
Yeah.
Okay, killer. How many hours a week on the side of the military would you be able to invest into something like this?
10 hours.
About 10 hours?
Yeah.
Okay. How many months would you be willing to give yourself, just part-time, to be able to start seeing that few $100 coming in every month?
However long it takes.
Okay. Killer, man. Let me ask you this. From everything you've seen so far, are you ready to get started?
And I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like a lot of it makes sense, but kind of before you make your final decision, probably need a little bit more information. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good question. Okay. So, sounds to me like it all kind of makes sense to you. We just need a little bit more information. Is that right?
Yeah.
Hey, I tell you what. We're having a special event this upcoming Wednesday night. I'm actually one of the people that help host the event and are in charge of the market. Now, I know seating's limited, but I can actually get you a seat on the guest list. How do you spell your last name?
Deette.
Deette. And do you have a spouse or a significant other that you would want to bring with you, or is it just you?
Sure, my girlfriend.
Girlfriend? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll do a little +1. So here's the thing, I'm saying seating's limited. I'll make sure that you're on the guest list for the event. So when you show up, you can just let them know that you're with Jesse and that you actually are on the guest list as well. Do me a favor, if anything changes, let Jesse know, because I'll take you off the guest list and give your seat to somebody else.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay, very, very cool. And awesome. And again, my name is Joe Valenzuela. I'm actually going to be there on Wednesday too. I really look forward to getting a chance to shake your hand and meet you, man.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Good stuff. That was awesome.
There's so much in there. Okay.
And that's really how it happened, actually, to get brought out to the event. So this is how it really happened. Now, a couple quick distinctions in that too, right? You hear, it's kind of like in dating. I'll talk to just the men for a second. Without a woman telling you whether, like let's say you're on a first date, without her telling you whether or not you should lean in for the kiss, you kind of know how the date's going already. You take a girl out, let's say your first date. You take her to the movies, because you're lame when you take girls on their first date to a movie theater. Don't ever do that, right? Let's just say you go to the movies on your first date, which you shouldn't do. But you're sitting in the movies, and you do your whole... right? You do the old reach around action, right? And you do the
This is happening right now.
You do the old reach action, right? And all of a sudden, she's like, oh, hell no. You know what I mean? Like, she like scoots over and keeps watching the movie from over here. How's that date going?
Not good.
Why not so hot? Driving home, do the old reach over, hand on the knee. She scoots away, right? How's the date going?
Not good.
Why not so good? Probably not gonna, get up to the doorstep and go lean in for the goodnight kiss. Now here's what I found. Flip side of it. You're in the movie theater. You do the old, Oh, popcorn action, how you doing over there, right? So she, you know, all of a sudden she's looking up, little eyelashes, just, right? Batting her eyelashes at you. She cuddles in real close. How's the date going? Pretty good, right? You go put the hand on the knee. She scoots in. How's the date going? Pretty good. Does she need to tell you? No, you get it. You got it, right? It's the same thing. Here's what I found. If you think you got a good shot at the goodnight kiss, go for it. If you know there's probably not a good shot, better to shoot for a second date. Right? Shoot for another opportunity to try again. Don't try to go seal the deal if it's not looking so good. So this is the big thing. It's the same thing in recruiting. If I'm sitting there in a sit-down presentation, our date, and his body language is leaning back, on the watch, looking around. You know, I'm not getting the yeses and the questions that I'm looking for. How's my date going? Not so hot. I'm probably not going to do the whole, you want a Visa or MasterCard? I'm not an idiot. You know what I mean? I'm not going to try to lean in for the kiss at the end of the night. I'm going to shoot for a second date. If I can tell he's really not there, I might say, well, it sounds to me like a lot of this makes sense. But you need a little bit more exposure before you're really ready to get started. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, before you make your final decision, bro, we're having an event this upcoming Wednesday night. Some of the top people here in San Diego. What I'd love is you to come out and meet some of the people that are killing it in this company to really evaluate and see if this is something that's for you or not. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Killer, man. All right, Wednesday night then. I'll pick you up.
Okay.
Great. I didn't lean in for the kiss. In fact, I told him, you're not ready to get started yet. Sounds to me like a lot of it makes sense, but you're really not ready to get started yet. Am I right?
Yeah.
Now, if you tell somebody that's not ready to get started, that they're not ready to get started, they love you.
Yes.
Because they literally like, he gets me.
This is so big. I just took away the whole signing up situation. If I can tell by the date he's not feeling it, I say, listen, man, it sounds like a lot of this stuff makes sense, but you kind of need a little more exposure to this whole thing before you really make a decision either way. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Let me say, this, before you make your final decision, we have this amazing thing happen on Wednesday night, right? There's a speaker that's coming out from Idaho who's never, ever been down here in San Diego. I promote the speaker, not the event. And by the way, every single Wednesday is a never before, never again opportunity to go out there and share this with somebody. Never before, never again. This is a one-time deal. It's not like every single Wednesday we all get together and hang out. When it's like, oh, I'll make it to one of them. No. This Wednesday, this speaker hasn't get a chance to speak. Now, even I don't care if it's Jesse Belvin. I don't care if it's me. Some of you guys will promote. If you know Jesse's coming to town, it's like, oh, I'm really going to promote this week. But if it's me or Alan or Zach, it's like, Zach's here every week. And it's not the same level of promoting. What I learned how to do is treat every single speaker like Isaac. If you knew Isaac was coming to town, how would you pick up the phone that week? Now, here's what's amazing. The prospect doesn't know either way. To him, every person is whoever you say they are. So I treat every single speaker like it's Isaac coming to town. I'm like, listen, dude, this upcoming week, bro, we have a guy coming all the way down from Idaho just to be here to get a chance to speak. This guy has been literally building in Idaho, Atlanta. He's built a business, not just locally, but all over the country. He's going to be here mentoring some of the people on how to do what he did. Right? It's never happened before. I don't know when it's ever going to happen again, but I can get you a seat this Wednesday night, meet some of the people that are killing it, doing really well. And before you can make your final decision, you can really evaluate if this thing's for you or not. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
Great, man. All right, I'll save you a seat for Wednesday. All right, boom. So easy. Is this good? Yeah. So good. Thank you, brother. Yeah. Much appreciated. Now, if I'm getting the body language during the sit down, right, he's vibing it, the date's going really good, I'm going to try to seal the deal right there.
Let's make it happen.
I'm taking you home. Well, I'm going to lean in. That first date, I'm going for it.
Let's go 1450.
That's it.
You know?
Right? That's the thing, right? On the first, you can feel how it is. If they're vibing it, go for it.
One of the things that I love in the three-way phone call that you can also utilize that I love. You want to open this up? I can show this real quick.
Yes, yes.
Actually, before I show this, Joe's on the phone with me. He's a prospect. I'm doing the three-way phone call. I'm going to walk you through this. So, step number 1, how do you know your friend? So, how do you know the person that put us on the phone together? Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to form this person. Now, FORM stands for family, occupation, recreation, motivation, or money. I'll give you the questions I just asked. Hey, where are you from? Are you from San Diego? Like if I'm talking to somebody in San Diego, hey, are you from here? No, I'm from such and so. Okay. Well, what do you do, Joe? I'm going to ask him, what do you do? Next thing I'm going to ask is, so your friend told me, I'm going to use the person's name here. They shared with you some information about Secret, or you were at a party, or you were at a sit-down, or you saw this video. Is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome. From everything you saw, what did you like best about what you saw? What popped out at you the most?
I think the business sounds interesting.
The business, the money side? Perfect. Well, tell you what, Joe. Kind of share with you my experience. I took a look at this company. I'm going to share my 30-second
story.
Just
30 seconds.
30 seconds. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around either their color or all the other stuff that we talked about, yeah?
Or their objections, by the way. If you know someone's objection ahead of time.
Yep.
Like, cause I knew one of Brad's things before he came to the overview is he was working 50 to 60 to 70 sometimes hours a week in the military. So he had no time, but he was super broke. So he didn't have any time to go make more money, but desperately needed more money. So in my story, I used my story of, hey man, I was working 2 jobs, had no time, and I needed more money, but I didn't even have the time to get another job, even if I wanted it. And I love this because I could go out there and start building this in the cracks of my life and the time I did have when I was driving and this little time here and there and start making an income.
So let's finish this off. 6 is you're going to either close or invite to the next event or exposure. And then number 7, you're going to re-edify the person that introduced you guys together. Re-edify their friend. Right. So let's do another example here. I'm going to do one from my side, and I'm actually taking something I stole from Joe last week. So in this example, let's say Alan connected us together.
Sure.
So Alan is the agent, Joe is the prospect.
Ooh.
We got the three-way phone call connected here. In this scenario, let's say Joe is who Joe was before network marketing. You were doing what at the time?
Auto detailing.
Auto detailing. So we get this call connected. Alan connects us in this scenario. So, hey, Joe, hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So, Joe, let me ask you, how do you know Alan?
We actually were surfing together growing up.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Real life?
No, it's not. Okay, well, let's just go with it. All right, okay. All right, so, I don't know. You were so pumped about it. You were like, yeah. I thought, did that really happen? So, grew up surfing together. Okay, are you from San Diego?
Born and raised.
Born and raised, really a local. Awesome. So, and did you, what do you do now, Joe?
I have an auto detailing company.
Really?
Yeah.
How long have you had it?
About 2 years.
2 years. Like it, love it?
Yeah, it's all right.
Do I have a lot of information already about this guy? Yeah, absolutely. Now, from here, what do you do? All this stuff. Alan tells me he had a chance to share with you one of our videos. Is that right?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay, awesome. From everything that you saw online, what did on the video, what did you like best? What popped out at you the most, Joe?
Everybody looks like they're having fun, man.
Everyone looks like they're having fun. What color is he probably? Now I know he's a blue. He's in auto detailing. He's got a business. He's entrepreneurial. He's young. He's from San Diego. I got a lot of information about this guy. I know by his vocabulary. I know by his tone. I know the way he introduced himself. I know a lot about this person. So from here, the next thing I'm going to do is I say, well, Joe, kind of share with you my experience, and I'm going to tailor it around it. Now, if I already know his objection, I know something like that. Now, I already know through all this, I can probably hit a 30-second story that'll probably connect with him in somehow, yeah? Mm-hmm. Now, the only thing I'm doing after my 30-second story, which is individual for all of you guys, is if I think he's ready to get started because he's seen enough information, great. But let's say I'm going to invite him to the event on Wednesday night. Well, tell you what, Joe, I'd love to get you some more information about what we're doing here. Wednesday night, do you have anything that you can't get out of, like a wedding or a funeral?
No.
Write this down. Hey, on Wednesday night, do you have anything that you can't get out of, like a wedding or a funeral?
Anything crazy going on, like a wedding or a funeral you can't get out of? It's easier to get someone to say no than it is yes. So big.
Anything You can't get out of like a wedding or a funeral, anything crazy like that?
No.
Perfect. And then I'm going to edify the event. Well, the speaker for the event. This Wednesday, we have an incredible event happening. Here's the individual, edify the person. Can't wait to get a chance to meet you. Guest list, confirmation.
The reason why the guest list is so powerful is when you get confirmation with your guest with a third-party person, your guest is so much less likely to flake on that person that's an edified expert than they are you, their friend. You would think psychologically it's different. If I'm close and I know this person well, they should be more committed to me than they are this total stranger. Not so. If you get your guest to confirm that they're going to be at an event with somebody that you've edified as an expert, they are so much less likely to flake out if they've already given their commitment to somebody else that they or you would look bad in front of. If you're their close friend, they think, oh, you'll forgive me if I don't come because we're tight, we're friends anyways. That's okay. And they won't come if it's just you, but if you get them, say, hey, listen, I know even if they're already coming, a great thing to do is like, hey, listen, I know you're coming. I want to get a chance to introduce you to one of the guys that's really helping expand this market, that's killing it. Let me see if I can get a chance to have you. He'll be there Wednesday too. I'd love to get a chance to connect you guys ahead of time just so you guys know each other. Hold on one second. Click. And then I will have my expert just confirm. Hey, let me put you on the guest list. Make sure you got yourself a spot. I'll give you a VIP seat.
How many of you guys have had guests that you invited that didn't show up? Here's the thing I want to let you know. I don't consider someone invited unless they've been confirmed by someone else.
So
me personally. I basically take it as a 1 out of 20? 1 out of 20 that I just invite regularly will just show up and actually keep their word.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Okay.
It's not personal, by the way. I do it to other people. Right? If I get invited, how many guys have been invited to like a party? And it's like a party, like your friend. It's like you really do want to go. It's a cool party that you won't even want to go to. But all of a sudden, it gets around to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. You're supposed to go over to the party. All of a sudden, you're on the couch. The couch is just way more comfortable than it is to get up and go get ready and go to anything. You're like, nah. They love me. I'm going to be all right. Tonight's not the night. I mean, we've all been there, yes?
Yep.
And that's usually what happens if it's a wild party, if it's an event, we have a business briefing. It's not personal. They just, life happened. TV was on, the kids were whatever. But, hey, listen, I know you're coming. If you got that confirmation with an expert first, and then afterward, like, hey, listen, man, I'm really excited. Actually, Jesse was telling me he's really excited to get a chance to meet you on Wednesday, put a face on him. I was telling him about you. Really excited to have you guys connect on Wednesday night. You're on. And
then last but not least, I'm going to re-edify. So I'm going to say, listen, so I know you've known Alan for quite some time. I'm just getting a chance to meet him, but he's actually one of the most impressive young men I've had an opportunity to work with. Mm-hmm. Now he's thinking, you talking the Alan?
My Alan?
Like A-Town? Alan? Like, I remember picking him up off the floor last week when we were having a party, right?
If you think Alan's the deal,
wait till you meet me, right? So I'm going to re-edify Alan, so that way it gives him some credibility.
Yes.
Now, if Joe knows that Alan looks up to me and I respect Alan and he's confirmed to come with me, he's much less likely not to show up.
Yep.
For me and for Alan.
Much more likely to show up.
Okay? Much more likely to show. Sorry. Are we good?
Yes.